In today's video, I'm going to do an oil change and an engine flush on our 2015 R59 Mini Cooper Roadster. This is my mom and dad's play car, so we're going to do a good job for them today, keep them on the road going strong. We're going to use an oil additive at the end, so stick around. I'll show you how to get this done. Let's go. So we're going with Liqui Moly, which is my preferred oil. I have a German car as well, so we're going to use a Mann filter. You see the part number below. We're also going to do an engine flush that will clean that engine up really well before we do the oil change. Also, we're going to add an anti-friction, the MOS2 by Liqui Moly. Today we're going with the 5W30 Liqui Moly oil. Recommended for this car. You need minimal tools, a ratchet, channel locks, Allen wrenches, and a torque wrench if you have one, but I'm going to show you how to do this if you don't have a torque wrench. This is for the basic guy in the basic garage with basic tools. So the first thing you want to do is start the car, get the engine up to its normal running temperature. Once that's done, turn the car off. So after getting the temperature up on the car, just shut the car off. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the oil cap off and we're going to get ready to add our engine flush. So use the whole container, use a funnel, try not to make a mess. Use the whole container, put that in, and we're gonna run the car for 10 minutes. So we're gonna start it again, run it for 10 minutes. Keep your timer on. I mean, if you go 11 or 12, it's not gonna hurt anything. But one thing I will say, do not rev the engine. Just let it idle, let it be. Run it for 10 minutes, turn it off. But before you turn it on, make sure you remember to put your oil cap back on. So after starting it up, just let it idle. Make sure you keep track of the time. Let it do its thing. It's actually cleaning the inside of this engine out. It does wonders. I'll show you details of that later. So after the 10 minutes, just shut the car off, and it's time to get the car up on jack stands. You want to do it fairly quickly, and this car is actually really easy. Most people don't have lifts or access to that, so just put it up on jack stands. Not hard at all. Once you get it elevated, then it's time to go to work. We're gonna look for our oil pan drain plug. It's right underneath the front of the car in the middle. And real quickly, you're gonna need an 8mm Allen for that. Real simple. Take your oil cap off, take your dipstick out. That allows the oil to vent when it's coming out. It flows much easier. The oil is warm, so be very careful because we did bring the car up to operating temperature. So be careful, make sure you have a decent drain pan. You can use anything really to put the oil in. Now we're going to go up to the top of the engine bay. We're going to get the oil filter out of the car. So while that's draining, we can get other things done, of course. So let's do this. And a lot of people don't have a socket to fit the top of this oil filter cap. So you can use a good set of channel locks, or better yet, a crescent wrench would work great. So what you want to do here is you want to mark this. Make markings on the cap and the base as well. So when you go to retighten that, you line those markings up, and that should give you the correct torque, given it was torqued down correctly on the prior oil change. But I know it was, so we're going to go with that. So just get it loose, get it to where you can loosen it by hand. A lot of threads. You're going to pull that out. Try not to make a mess. That's your oil filter. So once you get that out, find a nice place to lay that down that gives you room, some space to work. You get the new oil filter out. It does come with an O-ring, so you have to replace the old O-ring. So we need to take the filter out, put it back in the old box or whatever for disposal, dispose of that properly. Now you want to take a screwdriver, or better yet, if you have an O-ring remover tool, but most people don't, so just use a screwdriver, but be careful. This is plastic, don't damage the threads. Just pop that off and grab the new O-ring. You might want to put a little oil around the O-ring, but first you want to clean this out pretty well. Make sure there aren't any deposits or anything like that inside of it. So put the new O-ring back on. Be very careful with that. It's easier than getting it off, I think. So let's get that put on. Put a little bit of oil around the new O-ring and put your new filter back in where the old filter was. It just pops in. So before you put the filter back in, I always want to clean out because there's some additional oil laying in the reservoir there before you put the oil filter back in the car. So get that cleaned out. But at the beginning of the video, I showed you I wanted to demonstrate how clean that engine flush gets your engine. Wow, that's amazing. If you can see down in there, it is sparkling like new. So when you go to tighten this up, it says right on the cap, 25 Newton meters. That's equivalent to 18.5 approximately foot-pounds. So most of us use foot-pounds. Hand tighten that, tighten it all the way until you can't tighten it anymore. Then you want to grab your wrench, whatever kind that is, tighten it all the way down. Remember our markings that we made before we took it off? You want to reference those markings right there. Make sure they line up, then your torque specs should be pretty much dead on. Time to put the drain plug in, so you want to make sure you put a fresh crush washer on that. That's the copper washer. Put that in. It's already been hand tightened actually. So we're going to put our 8mm Allen onto that, get it tightened as tight as you, well, reasonably tight. Then you want to apply your torque wrench to that. That's where this comes in. You can get by without a torque wrench, but on this one, you want it to be 22 foot-pounds. That's what the manual says for this car. Now it's time to have some fun. We're going to do the Liqui Moly 5W30. Now, you only want to put 4.2 liters in, or it's approximately 4.5 quarts. So look at the spout on this thing. If you don't have a funnel, this thing works great. They packaged this thing awesome. This is a sticker you can peel off, put it in your engine bay or wherever you want on your car, write your mileage in to keep track of your next oil change. But most cars today have an electronic system inside the dash that you can just reset, which we will be showing you how to do at the end of this video. So stick around for that. Okay, just put all the oil in. Notice this container, it has a handle on the back and on the top. They engineered the hell out of this thing. It's pretty cool, pretty easy to use. Now it's time for the MOS2 anti-friction additive. So everything's in the car. We're just gonna add this to the oil. This prevents cold start damage to your car. I think it quiets your engine. I've used it for a long time. It helps with fuel efficiency. But it just protects all the seals and all the engine components inside of the car, hopefully giving it a longer life. So I'm a clean freak, so everything has to be cleaned up. You know, just wipe everything down. Now you want to put your dipstick back in, clean it off, check your oil again. Anytime you do anything with the oil or the oil level, you want to check your levels, make sure everything's right. Put your cap back on if you can get it on. You know, it's kind of stubborn in this car, but it does pop into place. Wipe everything down. Yep, got to have that engine bay looking good, you know, especially for your secondary car. So I am doing this oil change correctly because it's mom and dad's car, and I don't want them to have any problems. So you know what happens if we don't do it right. It comes back on me. So I asked my dad to start the car up. Just let it run for 30 seconds or whatever, just to recheck the oil levels. Here we go. Yep, everything looks good. All right. Hey guys, smash that subscribe button if you found this useful so far, but we still have more to come. Okay, we want to take the key, put it in the ignition, let the computer completely load up. Once that happens, push and hold this button on the tachometer until you see that. Okay, over here on your left turn signal, push it in and hold it, the button on the end of the toggle, until it says reset there. Once it says reset, hit it one more time, and that's it. It clears the light out. You're good to go until the next oil change. So mom and dad's car's all set. They're good to go for quite a while now. Hey, I'm going to be doing a spark plug video and fixing an external part on this car. So check those videos out when they come out. Just hit subscribe. You'll get notifications. Hit the bell. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a good day.